seconds to get him in here, Coach. They jumping on, Coach. They jumping on, Coach.
Up?
They want to know what the surprise is, Coach. That's what it is. Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the HBCU Coaches Corner. I'm Rocky, and I am introducing none other than the SWAC legendary coach and player, none other than my co-host, Coach Johnnie Cole. Coach, you did it today, Coach. You set something up. We got an amazing guest. I guess people couldn't even guess who we got today, Coach.
They couldn't, but he's number one. You know, and,
that is true, Coach.
I got on my power red tonight because the guy about to introduce national championship winner put everybody in HBCU on freeze last year in the Celebration Bowl. I had a pleasure of watching him from the time he stepped out of the dugout onto the football field. He had a calmness about him, Rocky. I know, Coach, he had a calmness. And all the hype and hoopla about Jackson State and Deion Sanders. And, man, this dude was a smooth customer because his game plan was on point. I'm going to say it. I'm going to mess with him. He had a Johnnie Cole game plan. But nobody didn't know. My friend, head football coach of the 2022 National Black College Champs, Mr. Trei Oliver. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
What's up, Coach? Good to see you, man. Good to be here. Rocky, thank you for having me on.
Hey, Coach. I was so excited, Coach. I became a big fan of yours during the press run with you and Deion for the Celebration Bowl last year. Coach, you handled being in there you showed the appropriate amount of respect for Coach Sanders, but also went into the situation understanding that you had a game to coach and your intention was no doubt to win from the very first time you picked up the mic during the Celebration Bowl press run. I was inspired by your confidence, and you didn't flinch or bat an eye, also paying homage to what Coach Sanders had done for the HBCU space. And like I said, I just want to say I'm a big fan, Coach.
Man, appreciate that, Rocky. Appreciate that. You know, real respect's real, I guess. But, you know, I had the utmost respect for Jackson State and Coach Sanders and what they had been able to accomplish. But, you know, just being a competitor, you know, you want to play the best or who they consider the best. You know, you don't get any props or anything like that for, you know, beating on the little guy. You know, you want to get some props, knock the big man out.
Yeah.
And Coach, with that being said, Coach, I want to get into, you know, when I first became an HBCU fan, which is about 3 years ago, Coach, and I didn't know all the history and pageantry behind HBCUs, but I've come to understand it and love it, you know. And one thing my primary complaint was in the beginning is, you know, the scheduling was all over the place, you know, with different schools or whatever. There was no consistency in how they scheduled, and I couldn't get a hand over it, Coach. But looking at your schedule the last 2 years, Coach, it's very clear that you want to play quality competition leading up to your conference play, Coach. What's your theory behind that? And do you think that schedule helps you in your conference?
Definitely. I think first and foremost, you know, when you play teams out of conference, it helps prepare you for everything. You know, when you keep playing the same teams in your conference every year, you kind of get accustomed to what everybody does, their pressures, formations, and things of that nature. But, you know, when you play teams from other conferences, you might see all sorts of formations, pressures, and things like that you haven't seen, normally. And then, excuse me, aside from that is you got to beat the big man to get some respect. So, you know, we go up to New Hampshire last year on the road, and, you know, they never think that black colleges can beat predominantly white schools, especially on the road. So we go up to New Hampshire, top 25 school, you know, beat those guys. And that got some people's attention. So I put the schedule together like that for a reason. A lot of people looked at me like I was crazy. This year we had, of course, A&T non-conference, Elon, which is a playoff team, non-conference. Campbell, very good football team, non-conference. Yeah. So for us to be able to get respect in national rankings, you got to play those schools.
Without a doubt, Coach. I like how you're scheduling, and as you know, we both played in black college football, and we used to get our tails handed to us by white schools, and now things like yourself and myself that goes about the business of getting our team prepared. Can you talk about that? How you prepare your team? Is it a difference comparing to play PWIs, or it's just your system?
Well, we don't prepare any differently. My motto around here is culture over scheme. And it's about culture, doing the right thing on and off the field. And that includes, obviously, discipline. And that's a lot of times the reason why I think a lot of HBCUs couldn't beat PWIs, especially on the road. You got to play against the refs. You got to play against them. And ultimately, it's not about talent. You're going to end up beating yourself back in the day with penalties, turnovers, and things of that nature. So it's all about the culture for me. It don't matter whether you run the ball, pass the ball, 3-down defense, front, 4-down. It's about the culture. So we have a saying here, Eagles don't beat Eagles. Now, if you're better than me and you beat me, you beat me. But I can't go out here and have self-inflicted wounds and think that I'm gonna be able to beat anybody.
Yeah. This is one of the things I was really interested in, and I'm gonna let you go, is that you are Eagle. How important is that you coaching at your alma mater? And the guys before you weren't able to really get it done besides Coach Broadway. How much does that mean to you being an Eagle yourself?
Man, it means the world, man. And to have the opportunity to come back home and to be able to coach your alma mater and not just do that, have some success. And that's why the folks brought me here. They wanted the championship. That was where our job was. We knew the assignment. And the kids bought in. And I tell you, you do it with good people. And I got a great coaching staff. My support staff is great. Everybody in our program is bought into the culture. And it makes life, so much easier. I don't call any plays. I deal with the media, parents, and administration. I let my coaches coach. I stay out the way, and I trust in them. And we got a great group of guys here. Get along. It's a family here.
Hey, Coach, you just mentioned something that is you don't call plays, right? And I know that
I have suggestions. But I don't.
No. Coach, my point is saying that does you not being the primary play caller free you up to administer and oversee the entire program?
Definitely. I mean, I hope that I'm not overlooking anything. Nothing's too small. Everything counts. Everything counts. So you get caught up calling plays and game planning and scripting and all this stuff, and you miss details. Like we wear white socks at practice. I don't care. We ain't wearing. Everybody's gonna have white socks on. So it's little things like that. We not gonna have the t-shirts hanging out outside our jersey. Right. We don't do that. Hell, if everybody can dress the same in NFL, at the highest level, everybody can dress the same. Shit, we can dress the same.
Hey, Coach. I know you're on a tight window. And there's several things I want to talk to you, but I can't get off this call without addressing.
I got a few minutes. Come on with it.
Addressing the amazing player that you have, Davius Richards, and I've loved watching him play the last 2 seasons. And just in your opinion, if you could compare his style to, because like me, he reminds me of Vic, but then he also reminds me of Steve McNair. Like there's so many players that come to mind when I think about him because he can get it done with physicality. He also can get it done with speed. And of course, he can get it done through the air. Is there any player that you see in him along those lines?
I think probably a little Randall Cunningham.
Oh, okay.
But he's so daggone physical, man. That dude is physical, and he always likes to get. I don't like to say this, but we try to run him early because he wants to get hit. That wakes him up and gets him going. He loves contact, and he's a dude, man. He's a dude. He's the best I've been around.
Oh man, at any of your coaching stops, he's the best you've seen.
Yes. Yes, hands down.
Wow.
Okay. Wow, Coach. You've been some places. Looking over your resume, you've been in Southern and Grambling and around some really good guys, Coach. That's saying a lot, saying that he's the best you've seen, Coach. Another thing I want to ask you, Coach, is I've watched your team this year get it done with defense. I've also watched your team this year get it done with explosive offense. What is the real identity of your team?
And last year, a lot of guys didn't get a whole lot of accolades and things of that nature. So I said we didn't really have that star power last year. It was just a bunch of really good dudes that bought into the system. We're a team, man. We try to put it together, at all three phases. And what I'm challenging now is let's play at a high level at all three phases for 60 minutes. This past weekend, we got up 28-3 lead, and let the team get back in. So I'm waiting for that explosive game in all three phases for 60 minutes. And no better weekend to do it than this weekend with the championship game on the line against Howard.
Yeah. Coach, let me throw a curveball in there and just talk about HBCU and these positions that pop up. You're an HBCU man like me, and we got 20 colleges. They got a head job and offense and defensive coordinator. And as a African-American coach yourself, and you are a good coach, period. How you feel about, do you feel a guy that, because he's played pro ball, can come in and sit in your seat and do the things that you do? How you feel about that, Coach? How you feel about these guys jumping and skipping the line, or even our administration buying into it? And I've talked to guys, since I had this show, it's like they're telling us now if we've never coached for a PWI, we don't have a chance. Your thoughts, Coach?
Man, there's a lot of coaches out here, a lot of really good coaches that haven't had opportunity. And I'm so thankful that Dawson Odoms, gave me a coordinator job at Southern that set me up for this job. But if it weren't for Coach Odoms, I wouldn't have his job. But there's a lot of really good coaches out there, man. Sean Gibbs at at Fort Valley, Chennis Berry, at Benedict, they some dudes. Richard Hayes at Fayetteville State, dude. It's a lot of really, really good coaches out there, man, that really just need an opportunity. That's all it is. And that's why I scheduled the way I scheduled. So people on both sides of the tracks can, we welcome all the smoke, man. The PWIs, they can get it too. I got in trouble for making a comment about the CAA conference and their bands, the flutes and piccolos.
Right.
Hey, Coach.
Go ahead.
No, Coach Cole, that's a great question, and Coach Oliver really did a great job of giving a political answer. But I just want to ask him directly: is there any benefit to HBCU football in hiring a guy with a name over a resume?
I mean, if they're gonna bring some money in there, I think that's what happened to Jackson State. They brought a whole lot of money in there. But at the same time, when you talk about coaching, I don't understand. Like, I've been coaching for 24 years, man. I've been coaching for 24 years.
Yeah.
No, not. But I'm saying, dude, been coaching 2 years. He won't go out coach me in the Celebration Bowl. Come on now.
Hey, look, I'm glad you said it, Trey, because look, you used to get in trouble when you talk like that. You talk too strong, But
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be humble, but y'all keep messing with me, man. I try to be humble, but y'all.
But Coach Oliver, that's what I appreciated about you on the press run. You were humble, Coach, but you also were real. You're a professional coach with 20, at the time, 24 years of experience. And if that's how you truly feel, that's what I like to hear from people, how they truly feel. And so I think there's some, as a fan, I think there's some energy and excitement that fans and they can get behind with a celebrity coach. But at the end of the day, it's about football, and what you do on the field.
Exactly.
No
go ahead, Coach.
Ain't no question. I mean, of course, and I guess we got to use Dion because he's he's the only one that really has done it, came in as a pro and got things done, but they fell off now, and now everything else is kind of falling off. Not saying that he ain't going to get it going in the right direction. Where I'm going with this is, at the end of the day, you got to win football games at the end of the day.
Hey, let me tell you this, and I love him to death. I played for a Hall of Famer. I played for probably the best offensive lineman play the game, Larry Little.
Larry Little, yeah.
Right. Now, when I played here, Coach Little would, we had the best O-line coach, O-line player to play the game.
And
but he used to get so frustrated.
Trey, Larry Little played with the Miami Dolphins.
The only undefeated team, right?
He was a great player. I just want to put that. I mean,
great player. Undefeated Miami Dolphins team, yes.
Yeah.
But he used to get so frustrated because he wasn't coaching guys with hit talent like he had. It's easy for you to say, oh, you got to block him and do this, do that. But you got so much talent. Now I got to develop guys. My quarterback, high school kid, we want no transfer. My All-American free safety, high school kid, we want no transfer. So it's about recruiting good kids in your program and developing them. Now, just because you play on the highest level doesn't mean that you're going to be the best coach.
Coach,
that ain't bring it to Colorado.
Coach, you bring up something, and I know, we promised that we get you out here, Coach, but I got to ask you this question. With what has been said about offensive line in Colorado, and the answer is getting new players, Coach. In my opinion, and I'm talking about as a fan, that doesn't sound like a coach that's willing to invest in developing players. And that's what college football, I believe, is all about developing players. What do you hear when you hear a coach talk about the answer to a problem he's having on the field is simply getting new players?
I cringe, man. I cringe. Since I've been here, I have not cut one player off my team. I haven't cut one. Because to me, that's a recruiting mistake. But as a black man, how am I going to cut a young black man and take his opportunity to get an education away from him because he's missing tackles? We got to do a better job recruiting. We got to do a better job of coaching. But that's what we're here for, is for these young brothers. And I'm not going to cut a kid just because, he's not getting it done. You know what I'm saying? So I don't cut guys. Bottom line. I don't cut them. And I just hate to hear that, man. You just going to kick a kid to the curb. What are you supposed to do?
Well,
then as a parent, I don't know if I want to send my kids somewhere that's going, with the coach has that type philosophy.
It's like it's NFL or bust.
Right.
Another one of my favorite coaches at HBCU football said that kids are being misled by being convinced to enter the portal as a solution to them not playing, not getting playing time or whatever. And he says what's ending up happening, I didn't know this, but a large percentage of the kids are being left in the portal, and a large percentage of those kids left in the portal are black kids.
And a lot of those kids they're going to the portal that's getting left out there, not going back to school.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the other part of it.
Yeah.
And he said it's another version, and Coach Simmons talked really passionate about this. It's simply another version of school to prison pipeline when you bring a kid on campus, convince him to enter the portal, and he doesn't get an opportunity to actually go to school. He's stuck in the portal, and that's just a college version of the. I thought that was a pretty strong assessment, and I was just wanting to get your thoughts about that statement.
It is, and like I said, it's. I'm not with it, man. I'm not with it. Yeah. I'm not with it. You just got to develop the kids, man. And if you don't take care of them, who is? Yeah. We talk about we love our guys and you love the players and we love the kids, and then 2 weeks later you kick them on team because he dropped the ball. Come on, where's the love now?
Yeah, I always felt that when the portal came out. It was good for some kids to get off and under, But my thought was always about, what about the kids that don't? What happens to that mother or father or that family who got a scholarship for their kid to go somewhere, then all of a sudden now he has no scholarship, you know? And lucky if he's got a mother and father who can help him get in another school, you know, just to go to school and finish. So that was always my thing about that.
How do you sit in a parent's home and tell them the recruiting spill? You go in a parent's house and tell them, I'm gonna take care of your child. I'm gonna make sure your child gets a degree. I'm gonna love your kid. There's gonna be a family. We're gonna treat him like he's our own. All that good stuff that you said to get him. And then once he gets there, a year or two later, you ain't a fit. You don't fit my program. Like, come on, man.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Coach, you know, it's almost, you know, I've heard people say that it's simply recruiting. What you end up doing is recruit mercenaries. And when you know, and I must say that I am in favor of college athlete mobility from the standpoint that coaches have mobility and they recruit players and then leave, right? But I think there has to be some responsibility to coach, to the institution. Some responsibility has to be to the institution to kind of prevent these players from making mistakes as they enter the portal. And it almost seems like as the kids enter the portal, they enter at their own risk, and then there are no safety nets or anything there for them. And so I just wish there was, you know, there's a better way out there for, you know, a kid improving his circumstances other than entering the portal.
Definitely. I mean, the ones that just jump out there, Alabama A&M had a really good defensive end. I think it was it Cushenberry or something, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
He ended up going to Florida State. Now, he was all conference, I think, player of the year or something.
Yeah.
He goes to Florida State. You don't hear from him again. Was Cam Newton's brother?
Yeah.
Kalen or whatever his name is, transferred from Howard to Auburn.
Yeah.
You ain't never hear from him again. Now, I'll tell you this. I had two of them that transferred from here. My left tackle left and went to Maryland. He's starting in Maryland right now. Now, he was a high school I recruited. Ain't have no offers. But he's starting at Maryland right now. And then the kid, Tez Walker at Carolina, that they had a whole big thing about getting eligible.
Oh, yeah, Coach.
He was here too. So if I had those two here still, I might have taken a day off work today.
Well, one of the questions, Coach, was what about the kids who don't do what they're supposed to? Don't go to study hall. Don't make the grade. You know, of course, you know, when I was coaching, we had what we call a red book, and we stayed on top of them. What's your issue? How do you handle that?
You're gonna think I'm lying to you, man. I don't have those problems here.
Well, that's good.
You talk about culture over scheme. Our team GPA is over 3.0. My kids did over 3,500 hours in the community service last year, and they bought into the culture. I honestly, I sleep well at night. My phone's not ringing at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with campus police about stuff happening. I mean, I'm blessed, man. It's crazy. I got a great group of guys. Great group of guys.
Good. That's good.
Hey, Coach, I have to answer this question. I have to answer this question for Miss Body. She says, so what is your ideal portal candidate?
High school. Miss Body. I like high school players.
Wow.
Because see, a lot of times these transfers, there's a couple things, man. If you weren't the man there, you're not gonna be the man here. Now, I had to take a couple of transfers because we lost a couple guys late due to injury and some other things. But a lot of times the place they came from didn't have a culture, so they're not gonna understand my culture. Right. Or if they had a great culture, the kid didn't buy into that culture there.
Right.
So I really try to stay away from transfers as much as possible. Right. People do it to try to help their rankings and, oh, he's a 4-star this and he's a 5-star transfer. If he was that good, he would stay wherever he was at.
Right, right. Would you consider junior college players?
Yes, I would. Now, let me go back. The transfer portal kid if I recruited him out of high school and had a relationship, or I had a really good relationship with a coach, or it was some type of connection there, I would take a look at him. Yeah. But I'm not just taking a kid from the portal just to be taken. That I don't have a relationship with. Now, junior college, a little different because he's an older type guy, but you still have to do your background. You still have to do your background.
So coach, what if there's a player out there who had some success at an institution, but there was turmoil in the program, instability in the program he's at, his coach ultimately gets fired, and he's left in a situation where he's in limbo as a player, and he has aspirations not only to graduate from college, but also, play at the next level in some way. And your program provides him that opportunity based on the pedigree of Davius Richards and other guys who play for.
Right.
Could you consider a guy like that?
It's not a one-size-fits-all type deal. It's different circumstances. I'm not, completely against the portal. But, if it's a kid that got, in trouble, weapons or dope, anything like that, I'm not messing with him. You're not going to bring that mess to me. But he must have been a player. He got to be a baller.
He got to be a baller is what you're saying.
He got to be a baller. Yes. Because if you weren't the man there, how are you going to come to my place and be the man here? I got some dudes here, man. My backup quarterback, threw 5 touchdowns at the game Davius was out. Now, that was against Mississippi Valley, so y'all probably won't give me no credit for that.
No, Coach. There's a lot of teams in the SWAC that play Mississippi Valley and don't throw 5 touchdowns, Coach. But Coach, I can also say that quarterback could be a product of an amazing system. And that baller who is in that situation that is, untenable, that baller may have thrown 10 touchdowns.
And look, you act like you got somebody in your mind. Send them to me. I'll check out his film. You keep bringing this up. You got somebody.
No, Coach. I don't have anybody, Coach. I don't have anybody. But somebody got somebody.
Send them. I don't turn down anything on my collar. I'm gonna check them out.
Yeah.
So Coach, just in full transparency, Coach, Miss Body here, her son is played quarterback at TSU for 2 years. He was injured this year. His name is Andrew
that's
Body.
My baby.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was a dude. Miss Body, holla at me. DM me.
Hey, man, look, this a real show, man. We got real folks.
So when I tried to throw you that alley-oop, it was under no circumstances. No, but I understood what you were saying, Coach. You don't want to take a guy at the portal who ain't a dude.
Right.
The orange got to what did he say? The orange got to be the juice got to be worth the squeeze or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be worth it.
Yeah,
I understand it, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, that kid is a great kid, though. I mean, Body is a great kid. He's a team player. He's a leader. Unfortunately, he's in a tough situation, but that's a good kid. Come from a good family. That kid.
I took a couple offensive line transfers.
Yeah, he threw more yards in Tech. I think he's the number 2 quarterback in Texas of total yardage, of passing total yardage in the state of Texas. So that's saying
he was there in 18, right?
Yeah, he was at Texas Southern.
No. He got there at 20, Coach. He was one of those guys that kind of got lost in the sauce during the 20 recruiting cycle. And TSU actually got very fortunate to have him on their team, and he played as a freshman and did very well. Beat Rice, Coach. Look at the Rice tape. Anyway, but my point is saying
Miss Body gonna send me the link. I know Miss Body gonna get me right.
All right, Dion. All right.
Hey man, don't do that. Don't disrespect me, man.
That's right.
He's a professional coach. He's been coaching 24 years, and he has a national championship, Coach Cole. So you gotta put some respect on Trei's name, Coach Oliver's name. Hey, Coach, you only said you had 15 minutes, man. You done went all the way to 30, Coach. I want to thank you, man. It's late, but I mean, we got plenty of people here that's been enjoying you. I'll let you call it whenever you're ready, Coach Oliver.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I got to go back here and get back on some film, man. We got a big game this weekend against Howard. This for all the marbles, man. This for the championship.
Hey, look, Rod. If we can get the national championship coach on our show, we should have guys calling our show. Appreciate you, man. You've been nothing but great, man. I love your game. I love your team. I love how you approach everything, man. Good luck, and I will be seeing you in Atlanta.
All right, Miss Griffin, ready for me to go?
No. Hey, Miss Griffin don't run nothing here, Coach. Coach, we got them on here. They loving your energy, Coach, and like I say, Coach, you've done us a great job, man. You promised us 15, you gave us 30, you over delivered to us, and so I certainly appreciate it. I know Coach Cole does as well. You welcome anytime, and we got to get you back before the Celebration Bowl, Coach.
Hey, that's too early, man. Come on, let's talk about this weekend. Hey, I gotta run. I gotta go call Miss Body, man. I gotta call Miss Body right quick.
All right, bet.
I'll let y'all guys.
All right, take care.
Hey, Coach Cole, I didn't understand. I didn't know this was gonna turn into a recruiting call.
I told you, Coach Oliver is. Hey, look, he can go get it, Coach. He can go get it.
Yeah. Hey, and guess what? I commend Miss Body for putting it out there. You know what I mean? She wanted to understand what Coach Oliver was looking for. You know, not to say that anybody's going anywhere, but at the end of the day, you know, this is the HBCU Coaches Corner, where we interview coaches and talk about coaching and talk about football. So, Coach, let's get into it, Coach. Results from last week, Coach. You know, is there anything out here that pops out to you?
Well, we talked about Delaware State, Perino losing program. We felt Morgan State would put it together. Howard and South Carolina State, Buddy Pugh being one of the last, you know, the coach has been there for over 20 years. You know, they put it together for him. That was one of the things they were going out knowing that they're not winning the championship. But what a way to go out and win the game for Buddy Pugh. And I hear now that Buddy Pugh will be the new athletic director of South Carolina State. North Carolina Central. We all picked Central, you know, getting things done. So it wasn't no surprises there.
Hey, Coach, people still on here talking about Andrew and the conversation with Miss Body. I want to give everybody an opportunity to call in if they choose to. This is the call-in number. If you want to call in and talk to Coach Cole or make a comment about what you heard on the show today, man, go ahead and give us a call at 318-351-9464. You're welcome to give us a call, and we'll bring you on the air, and we'll talk football with you. If you have any questions for the SWAC championship coach, Coach Johnnie Cole. We just had Coach Trei Oliver on the show, and he gave us, I suggest if you're just jumping on now, I definitely suggest you go back to the very beginning of the show from the very start, and you'll listen to a very compelling interview given by the national championship coach, Trei Oliver. Yeah. But anyway, let's go back to our picks. Coach, you were actually 8-2 this week. I was 7-3. You were 8-2, Coach. You missed. We both missed Grambling. And you missed Hampton. You took Maine over Hampton, and I took Hampton. And then you took Charleston Southern over Tennessee State. Is there anything here other than what you mentioned that jumps out at you? For me, just NCCU handling business over Norfolk State, was typical. Hampton going on the road and beating Maine surprised me.
In North Carolina Central, they pretty much don't clinch the MEAC championship over there, and they probably will 9 out of 10 times. They probably will be the representative in the bowl game come December 16th.
All right, let's go with our next group of games. Okay, is there anything on this slate of games that jumps out at you? I know one that jumped out that bit both of us this weekend.
We talked about the Alabama State and Grambling game. Both of them. We knew Alabama State wasn't going to score enough, but we thought Grambling would score. Grambling would score 20, 21 points if they would just played their game, it seems like. But we both know, too, that Alabama State played great defense. And they get a game to their defense. And again, they came out victorious 17-6. Charleston Southern over Tennessee State. Felt like Tennessee State really ain't played nobody this year. So you don't know really how good they are. They play out of the 6 wins they got, 5 of the teams got losing records and real bad losing records, So Charleston Southern, it wasn't no sneak on it. The game was over early. They had about 28 points in the first half. So, no surprises there. A&T struggling, Townsend State struggling. You had 2 struggling football teams, but yet Townsend came out winning. Miss Polly said you ain't getting her in trouble.
No. But hey, it all goes with mama and her baby. You know how it go.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And she want to offer you a happy belated birthday blessings, Coach Cole.
Oh man, thank you very much. It was a blessing. I had a wonderful time. A bunch of folks snuck on me, except for my real folks out of Waco. But we don't.
Hey, Keisha caught up with you She flew out to Phoenix to visit you this weekend, Coach. So she tried to make up for it on my behalf while I was in New Orleans watching the Saints put it on the Bears. So
yeah, she sure did. She sure did. Surprised me, gave me a call, and we ended up meeting up. Me and Miss Dixie, and man, we had a great time.
Well, that's awesome. Hold on, I messed up. All right, Coach. Okay, you were right about this, Coach. Charleston Southern beat a Tennessee State team that you really didn't give them a lot of credit all year, Coach, in my opinion. You say they were winning, but you acknowledge that they were beating up on struggling programs that historically were good, solid programs, but this year they were struggling. You picked up on that, very early, Coach. And when they went to play, Charleston Southern, they took a double-digit L.
Yeah, I coached in Ohio Valley Conference, and we won 2 championships there. And when I started looking at the peoples in there, they got more schools, basketball schools, than really football schools. You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing about that. They don't have Eastern Kentucky, no Western Kentucky. You know what I mean? They don't have those powerhouse teams that used to be in the OVC. Now they have, Robert Morrison, Bryant, Linwood, and then they schedule outside of that. They play in Arkansas Pine Bluff. Those are not real strong football schools. And Tennessee State is known for football. From back in the early 80s, man, back then and to now, they've always been strong. But since we left there in 98, 99, 2 OVC back-to-back championships, I think they had 1 good year in the mid-2000s, but that's been it for them.
Oh, okay, Coach. Let's go on to our next slate of games. And as we talk about this, we can go ahead and pick up on the Southern Alcorn game, because to me, that was the game of the week in the SWAC. Southern traveled to Alcorn, and they got they butt whooped. The score is the final score is a lot closer than the actual game was, which brings me to this comment that Mark Smith had. And I think this is a critique of our interview with Coach Oliver. And he said, man, ask Coach if he'd ever consider coming back to Southern University. Got to ask that question, just curious. Well, I'll put it like this. We weren't interviewing him for a job. And I think Coach already got one. So I didn't want, and when he's in the middle of a championship season, I think a coach related to, what job would he take is in my opinion, is inappropriate. What do you think about that, Coach? About asking the coach?
Well, first of all, Coach Dooley is on his 2nd year of a 5-year contract, number one. And as you say, Coach Oliver's in the middle of a run for another national championship. And it seems like it's going to be Florida A&M and him. So he's going to have to get ready and prepare. But Coach Dooley down in Southern, he's struggling a little bit this year. Good thing he got a 5-year deal. He got a chance to put things together.
Yeah. I mean, I would, as a being objective, I wouldn't ask him that question in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? Without a verified report of mutual interest. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's just me, because I wouldn't want to call when you ask a coach that question in the middle of the season when he's trying to win a championship. If he don't answer it exactly right, it could be a distraction for him and his players.
Now the Southern fans, I hope this guy, I'm not a Southern fan, they jumping off the boat a little too soon. You still got Alcorn and Texas Southern play this week. If Texas Southern can beat Alcorn State, that puts Southern back in the driver's seat, back in there. If Southern can beat Prairie View, giving Prairie View the 3, now all Southern do is got to wait for
Texas Southern. If Texas Southern,
all Prairie View got to do is wait. I mean, not Prairie View. All Southern got to do is wait for Prairie View to play Alabama State at the end. So this thing is still, it's between the 3, but right now Alcorn got the steering wheel. And if they win out, they clinch the West.
Well, Coach, I watched a lot of, comments and a lot of lives, and it's obvious to me that the Southern fan base has bailed on Coach Dooley. Now, I hope he has some support in the administration or somewhere along that, but it's among the fan base. I think he's lost the fan base, and I think there's a number of reasons why. They believe he's not honest with them about what's happening on the field. They believe that, and I've heard this term a number of times, that he gaslights them by either saying what is obvious isn't happening or understating the obvious. You know what I mean? Right. What is obvious. And so, again, have you ever seen a situation, and I'm going to bring you up, Coach, bring this down, where a guy has turned off the fan base by not addressing the concerns on the field? Like, I know it's about winning, right? But just by being dismissive of making statements related to, the fans don't know because I really know football. I'm the football coach. While you're losing games, have you in a situation where you're okay? Let me put it to you like this: you are an offensive guru, right?
I could score, Coach. I could score.
If you were in a situation where your offense was struggling, would you acknowledge that your offense is struggling, or would you say it's not the offense that's the problem, it's the player's execution?
Well, I am a coach's coach, meaning if the players are not doing what they're supposed to, it's the coach's fault. I believe in that. Two things why it's the coach's fault. One, you brought the kid there, and two, you coach him. His only fault is that I came. You know what I mean? So that's 2 against 1. And so it's always the coach's fault of them not getting over what they're trying to do or what they're trying to accomplish. You got to evaluate yourself. And that's what a lot of head coaches don't do. Sports is an egotistical business. You know what I mean? And here's where most coaches get in trouble with. They come in and say, oh, well, I'm the 4-3 defense. Okay, good. Or I'm the spread offensive guy. Okay, good. But what does your personnel say? That's where I start at. When I take over a program, what does my personnel say in the time? And, he's in his second year. Maybe he don't have the players that he needs to run the offense that he needs to run. And I think that's where you're saying that thin line that he needs to come clean and say, personnel-wise, and I think they would accept that more of saying, we're not where I need to be personnel-wise to run what I need to run, both on the offensive side of the ball and on the defense side of the ball.
or simply admit that you're struggling and that you're in the process of working through your struggles and you're attempting to do things to get a better performance, and not just saying it's execution. When I hear coaches say execution, it's execution. That means that I had the right game plan, I called the right play, and the players messed it up. That's what I hear, and I think that's what fans hear. But if you hear that 10 weeks in a row, coach, at some point, I think the coach has to take responsibility and say it's up to us to coach the players up so that they know what to do in those pressure situations on the field. At some point, I think as a fan base, you want to hear that. You want to hear the coach simply taking accountability for what's happening on the field. I want to encourage anybody who would like to call in. We're taking calls tonight. We got Coach Johnnie Cole on the line, the SWAC winning coach. We just got off with Coach Trei Oliver. And again, like I said, we're taking calls. You can give us a call at 318-351-9464. We're going to take calls until the show is over. If you got a comment or something you'd like to say, we've had a lot of MEAC fans in here. We had a lot of SWAC fans in here. And, we're about to finish up going over our review of last week. And we're going to get into our picks for next week. So, Coach Cole, any other than the Southern game, Coach, is there any other game that jumped out? I think all the other games went the way we thought they would. I think your alma mater gave Jackson State all they could handle over the weekend. How did that make you feel as a proud alumnus of Jackson State?
Anytime that you lose, out of 10 years, you play Jackson State real hard and tough. I think it's a win-win. Unfortunately, Texas Southern, it's been a struggle over the last 4 or 5 years. So, we're in ball games. We've been in ball games. I take my hat off to Coach McKinney and his staff. They've been in ball games. They just ain't been able to get on the hump. The sad part about it is you're in year 5. You're actually playing with the kids that you brought in. Some of them are red shirt and some of them you brought the second year. So your program got to be and ought to be better than where it's at. Losing games 19-21, that's in your second and third year. That's when you know your program is moving in the right direction. It's tough and it's unfortunate, but that that's the game of football.
Hey, caller, with a number ending 3408, you're live on the HBCU Coach's Corner, hosted by none other than legendary SWAC coach, Coach Cole. Do you have any question for him?
Yeah, I just got to comment on that with Southern University and all that. And my big thing, Dooley knew he was the coach. Dooley knew. When he was at Prairie View and beat Southern for homecoming, them fools hired him right on the spot. He had time to prepare. There's no excuse. When he played LSU, everybody, whoa. I ain't gonna call the man's name, but he had no offense. He could not produce no offense. Then he turned around and played Texas Southern lost that same year after LSU. Same result. No offense. We back again this year. Still no offense. People saying he got no offensive coordinator. Nobody watching for him. The rumor is it's a hard head coach, do the way or the highway. People wonder why we can't see no other quarterbacks. Remember how many quarterbacks Pete went through before he got to the quarterback? Remember the quarterback went to the pole? It's a quarterback when Pete was there. He wasn't on the team quarterback. He had to go outside and get him one. And
Coach,
he went to the national championship with him.
Coach Dooley been an offensive coordinator at 2 different universities and done a pretty good job. That's his.
I know, but he knew he was coming to Southern. He know what we wanted to see. Now I know you're a coach with experience, but he knew.
Yeah.
He know what we understand. We'll know what we want to see.
Well, you know, I coached at Southern under Pete Richardson.
Can you turn down your sound in the background, sir, please?
Then you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Let me turn down. I'm gonna turn down. You coach under Pete.
I coached under Pete. I actually played quarterback for Pete in high school, so I know Coach Richardson very well.
You did? Oh, okay.
And I came.
Okay.
You know, we won the national championship. When you look at the background in '93, when we went undefeated. I mean, well, we went 11-1 and ended up losing to Nickel State on a bomber. But anyway,
I remember that. You know, I remember Nichols. We always struggled with Nichols.
Yeah, well,
we always struggled with Nichols. I remember Nichols.
Nobody didn't like
since I can remember. I'm glad we took him off the schedule.
Nobody didn't like more down to but you know, again, it's his second year. I say give him next year for sure. You know, that maybe those guys are learning his offense and it's taking him a while, or maybe when he got there, he did a clean out. You know, I believe in Coach Dooley. His numbers are good. Unfortunately, things ain't going his way, but hopefully he can get this thing on the right track, because I know them Southern fans, you know, they the real deal. Y'all the real deal down there. You know, y'all support, y'all give them everything they want, and I'm hoping that he can get it going in the right direction.
Coach, you've always spoke very highly of the Southern fan base, and you've went so far as to say Southern deserves a win because of the support that institution and the fan base gives the football program. So you've always spoke very highly of it. I wanted to point that out. Yeah, Coach, because when I first got there, and our offices was in the F.G. Clark Center where the basketball is, and I seen a line round and round. I said, didn't they have registration already? They said, no, man, that's the ticket line. Coach, it was wrapped around the building. And when they come in with them campers and tents and coaches, it's an unbelievable layout. You be ready and wanting to get it done, man. You ready to get it done, Coach. It's a great feeling after the game.
But you got to win to get that, Coach.
Oh, ain't no question.
You got to win to get that. If you don't win, you don't get that.
Ain't no question, Coach.
The old rule when I was at Southern, after the first 2 or 3 games, you ain't winning, they gone. But I came up under Kimball, Washington, and all that after homecoming. You ain't done nothing, they gone.
I know.
Hey, Colin, what's your name and where you calling from?
I'm called Louisiana, Johnson.
All right, Johnson. Hey, Johnson, I want to appreciate you calling in. The HBCU Coaches Corner. We appreciate you calling in. But Coach Cole.
All right, buddy.
All right, Coach Cole. There's somebody they requested that you explain that picture behind you, and I'll step aside so you can explain.
Well, right here at Southern University, that's the national championship ring under Pete Richardson. Went 11-1. We the only black school that had ever played on January 1st in Atlanta, Georgia, after the Peach Bowl. Right here is most dear to my heart because it's from my alma mater. It's Texas Southern's only win, only time they've won the SWAC ever outright. And they started playing football in 1954 when they won a championship under Audrey Ford. Since I've left Texas Southern, the record is 29-95. And I played at Texas Southern, not only football, I played basketball. I've got National Alumni Award. I got President's Award, Best Scholastic Athlete. I was MVP. So all that, and I said that about that ring there. This one here was against at Tennessee State. We won the national championship in 1998. We are the first historically black college to ever win a PWI conference. And it was the first, and it was the first that Tennessee State had won it. I want to say since 1987. We won this one in 98, so that was over 10 years ago. Also in this ring, we broke every conference record offensively. on this ring, and we end up beating Murray State 44-46. And it was my first real job of being an offensive coordinator. So that's very dear to my heart. Here, back-to-back championships, Tennessee State, this was in 98, this was in 99, which is our 25th anniversary for our 98 team. And so we're going to celebrate up in Nashville for our second championship in 99. And this team finished #1 in the nation, 11-0. Both of these rings together, we lost one conference game in 2 years. And we had a heck of defense. We had a bunch of kids break a lot of Tennessee State records. If you know about Tennessee State and the history of Tennessee State, this team right here, both these teams here, stood up way above all of them, broke all conference records as well as school records. And LC Cole, which again is dear to my heart, was a head coach. This team is also mentioned in the National African American History Museum out in Washington, D.C. And they also in process of making a movie or some type of trailer about this team. And as you see, Tennessee State, I hate to say it, don't even talk about these 2 years. And that was the last time Tennessee State won the Ohio Valley Conference Championship.
Wow, Coach. That's a that's a heck of a resume in and of itself, Coach.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if we were to really talk about it, you and your brother are probably two of the more accomplished HBCU coaches alive. When you talk about two conference championships in a predominantly white conference, and you winning the SWAC, that's amazing accomplishment, Coach. And I appreciate you sharing that with us and taking time out to share that with us. And Craig Hall says thank you as well for sharing that. Again, we have this is a live call-in show. We're about to go to our picks, but before we go to our picks, I wanted to just make sure Coach Cole didn't have any final comments about any of the action that happened last week.
Well, one of our callers called in and said if Alcorn State wins out and Southern wins out, Alcorn State go, without a doubt, because the first thing on the tiebreaker is head-to-head. And Alcorn would win that with the victory they have. But Prairie View does have an outside chance. You remember last year now, we came out in the 4 people about to win the East. Texas Southern had lost. Prairie View had lost. And it was another school, I think Alcorn. And unfortunately, Texas Southern lost at the end and wasn't able to go to the championship. And I think that might have been the first time in the history of since they split up the conferences that you've had 3 teams go 4-3. Usually the team that win the conference is 6-1.
All right, Coach. In the toilet bowl, Bethune-Cookman was able to handle Mississippi Valley as we predicted, Coach. So we're gonna run through this here, Coach, because we right up on the hour, but this hour went really fast with interviewing Trei Oliver. He promised us 15 minutes and gave us 30, Coach. And so we're running up on the hour, but we're gonna get through these picks and take any calls. Grambling. We're gonna start out with Grambling and UAPB. Who you got, Coach?
Well, I'm gonna go with Grambling. UAPB been struggling all year. The defense coordinator quit right before the season or in the middle of the season. That coach there got to get that program together. UAPB have won a couple championships in the last couple of years, but they've had all bad years. That's the thing about UAPB. Either they win in the championship, and they've won 2 championships in the last 15 years, SWAC championships, but all the rest of the year's been down. So I'm going to go with Grambling and UAPB just got to get their stuff together for next year. All
right. So next up is Alabama. I'm going to take Grambling as well, and then I'm going to take Alabama A&M over Bethune-Cookman. Though I think this is going to be a competitive game, I just don't think Bethune-Cookman has enough to beat Alabama A&M.
Yeah, Coach Maynard, them, I'm hearing a whole bunch of rumors up out there. I hear he thinking about going back home. Coach Maynard is a country boy, and that's nothing negative, but he's a family man, and all his family is back in North Carolina. I've heard with maybe going back to take the Winston-Salem job over. That's where he played at. That's where his heart is. I got Alabama A&M as well over Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman is another a place that's got to get their stuff together. They're not just the football program, but the whole athletic department to get behind that football program and make it the winner that it could be.
All right, next up, Coach, is Alabama State, Mississippi Valley. I don't think we will disagree on this one. I'm going to take Alabama State.
Coach, I'm going to take the underdog. I'm going to take the underdog because I'm going to give Mississippi Valley State a chance, Coach.
Well, they do. They say that field.
Go ahead.
They say that field in Inabina is worth 7 points.
I tell you, going down to Inabina, man, is one of the worst places ever, Coach. Where it's cotton fields around the school, and you got Greenville and Greenwood. You know what I mean? That's a tough place to play. Alabama State is not moving the ball and scoring like they can. Mississippi Valley, I like their quarterback there. They play people tough. I'm gonna take the underdog. Hit your money machine, Coach.
You gonna take the underdog?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the underdog.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Hey, so I think this needs an explanation. So Tony Webb said he's talking about Cornell Maynard playing at North Carolina A&M, A&T. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he played under the legendary coach at Bill Hayes at Winston-Salem, and then Winston-Salem. Then he transferred. Once the coach went from Winston-Salem to A&T, he transferred to A&T with the coach. That's, you can fact check that, but I believe he played at both schools, Tony. So just so you know.
And I can call Coach Hayes on the phone, and he definitely will tell me. But I know he's a Winston-Salem guy.
Okay. And all right. And so, okay. So, Coach, this next one is the SWAC game of the week.
Right.
And it's the second week in a row that Southern is in the SWAC game of the week. It's particularly the SWAC West. This is essentially, in my opinion, an elimination game. Whoever loses this game is eliminated from contention for the West Championship, in my opinion. And so you're looking at Prairie View at Southern. I'm going to take Prairie View. I just think there's so much going on at Southern right now that it's going to be a really tough for them to hold it together. When they look up in those stands, those players look up in those stands, and they'll see the fan base has bailed on them. I think that'll be the right circumstances for Prairie View to upset Southern. Who you got, Coach?
Ooh, that is a tough one, Coach. And I'm like you. I think I see Prairie View coming in there, winning that football game. But and then Southern, man, they gave up a whole bunch of points last week to Alcorn. And Prairie View beat Alcorn. So Prairie View got a whole lot to play for. Because if Southern win, they got to beat Grambling for the Classic. But they would know their fate before that because Alcorn plays Jackson State in the Soul Bowl. So this thing is going to be rumbling. And like you say right now, the fans at Southern University, boy, Dooley lose this game, they might run him out of there, Coach. He might need policemen to escort him back to his office. It's going to be tough.
In my opinion, this is the game 2 years ago that got Jason Rollins fired.
Well, I thought it
when
was a
they
Texas
lost.
Southern game.
Well, I mean, I think Texas Southern, which was homecoming, Coach. I think it was ultimately whichever one was homecoming, is what got him fired.
He got beat up in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
Up in Arlington, Texas, with Southern and Texas Southern. Texas Southern hadn't won no games, and they come in there like 0-14, and they end up beating me.
Yeah. SWAC and the Fool says, keep Dooley. He may be the only person, if he's a Southern fan, who has that same sentiment.
But I'm with SWAC in the Fool. You know, he just finished in his second year, Coach. He just finished in his second year. And evidently, when he came in there, he didn't have the kids to run the offense that he's used to running. And then I know he had a second year of recruiting, but Coach, I would keep him.
Coach, let me ask you this, Coach. Put your AD hat on. Put your AD hat on, Coach.
Yeah.
In observing, we about 20 games into Dooley now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen any improvement from when he took over the program?
Now you can't apologize for success. Now, he did go to the SWAC championship.
All right, that's not what I asked you, Coach.
Where he really stunk up the field. That was real bad in the SWAC championship.
I asked you a question. Have you seen any improvement in the program since he took it over?
Coach, I gotta be fair about it, because there's some things probably about the program that we're not aware of because we're on the outside of it. You know, academics might be straight, kids not getting in trouble on campus. Look at the numbers. So I would be remiss and not fair to Coach Dooley not actually being there. You know, I'm a coach myself.
So do we get to grade? So we can grade Coach Dooley on the curve if you want to.
Yeah.
But do we get to grade Prairie View on the curve? There are three coaching positions short from having a full staff due to mismanagement of funds by the previous athletic director. Do we get to grade them on the curve? They're trying to coach and do a job that, I think they're supposed to be 10 coaches.
They're coaching with 6, huh?
Yeah, Coach.
Yeah. No, you correct, Coach.
So when you go
on the outside looking in, I'm giving Dooley a C-.
And with that being said, does the Southern fan base deserves better?
Oh, ain't no question.
Okay.
Ain't
okay.
No question.
All right.
They second to none, Coach.
So with that being said, are you picking Southern?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Prairie View.
All right, Coach. Well, I don't think this next one up is, boy, if we see if we pick another Lincoln, California game, my head's gonna explode.
Oh, Coach. Oh man. Yeah, Miss Body. I was at that game. Y'all definitely put an L on Southern. I think you guys beat them almost like 24-0. But Lincoln, California, Coach, they play every black team in the country and get paid for flying there. And they out of California.
Yeah, Coach. They the official homecoming date for all the SWAC schools. And so, Coach, it's unfortunate that we don't get better competition. I'm not nothing against Lincoln, California, but I think Florida A&M, the quality of team that they would be better served by playing a formidable opponent. Like, I would like to see Florida A&M against an Elon, against a what's that school? Missouri Southeast.
Southeast Missouri.
Southeast Missouri. I'd like to see them play those kind of schools because to me, not only would that do them well, but the SWAC could, in some cases, with the victory, get credit for playing a quality non-conference opponent. But you just don't you just don't get to see that. You end up watching them play what is essentially a Pop Warner team
Excuse me.
for a home game.
Yeah.
So this next one up, and I'm gonna say it right this time. Alcorn State.
Yeah.
They travel to H-Town to play Texas Southern. I'm gonna take Alcorn State on this one.
Wow. Okay. Man, this is a upset weekend for the West Side. We were scrambling last year on this date.
Oh yeah.
And man, do the Tigers come out and get their coach everything they have? They've been playing tough football with everybody. They ain't laid down yet. So, what you think, Coach? Who you take?
I got Fred. I believe in Fred McNair. I've been wrong one time this year when I picked them to beat Prairie View, and Prairie View got the victory. But I got to remember, with so much on the line, Alcorn is going to return to prominence, and they're going to play Florida A&M in the SWAC championship. That's just what I believe, Coach. And so I'm gonna stick with that. And so Alcorn is going to defeat Texas Southern, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to take that as well. They got something to play for. Texas Southern does it. I don't think Texas Southern will lay down, but I'm gonna get a victory to Alcorn.
All right, here's another big game, Coach. We just had Coach Trei Oliver on the show. He said it's on Tuesday. It's on Tuesday night. He's still burning the midnight oil, getting prepared for what he considered to play for the MEAC championship. Who you got, Coach?
Well, we got to go with Trei Oliver now.
Yeah, Coach. I got Coach Oliver, man. To be honest with you, him and Willie Simmons are two of my favorite coaches. I think Fred McNair also does a great job. But those two guys, not only do I like, the performance of their teams, but I think the way they present themselves and their personalities are can be ambassadors for Black college football. Fred McNair is a little understated, a little matter of fact, as a personality, but I definitely think Trei Oliver and Willie Simmons are personalities that can be great, or that are great for HBCU sports and Black college football. So, with that being said, I'm with you, Coach. I'm sticking with Trei Oliver, and I think they'll win their second consecutive MEAC championship on Saturday.
Right. You got Norfolk and Delaware State. That's the toilet bowl, ain't it?
I'm not gonna say. Well, if you look at their records, it definitely look at Coach Odoms has 2 victories this year, Coach.
Delaware State has what, 1?
Yeah. When I look at that game, that's definitely the toilet bowl, Coach. When I look at that game, Coach, Delaware State just hadn't shown me anything this year, even though they played Morgan State pretty tough last week. They're not a team that I could depend on them to win, even at home against Norfolk State, because Norfolk State has played hard and pretty much been in every game this year, and they just have came up on the short end of the stick each week. I think they get the victory against Delaware State. What about you, Coach?
I'll take that. I mean, Delaware State is 1-7 or 1-8, and Norfolk is 2-7. I mean, both of them are, having a decimal season. So, but one does look better than the other of Norfolk State. So I'll take Norfolk State.
Okay. On this next one, this is going to be so. Last week,
there's only one winning team in the MEAC, and that's North Carolina Central.
Yeah.
Everybody else got losing records.
Man,
The best team in there has got a 4-5 record. Besides North Carolina A&T sitting at 8-1.
Well, with that being said, Coach, what do you think is going to happen with Morgan State and South Carolina State? Now, last week you picked South Carolina State, and they were able to edge out Howard. I was surprised by that, but you picked them, and you said that they would win one for the Gipper. Well, this week against Coach Damon Wilson and Morgan State, will they win another one for the Gipper?
It's gonna be a tough one, boy. Morgan State played great defense, but I'm gonna stay with South Carolina State. I think they'll win this one too as well.
I'm gonna take Morgan State on this one, Coach. I think overall, Morgan State is the better team, and so I think Morgan State is gonna make less mistakes. I think they're gonna pull it out.
All right.
What about speaking of a team that's struggling, A&T is definitely struggling. I just can't pick them on the road, Coach. I'm gonna take Rhode Island.
I'll take Rhode Island as well.
Now, this next one, I think if we go with tradition, we got to take William and Mary. But William and Mary is struggling this year, Coach. They're not the William and Mary that they have been.
Of old, huh?
Yeah. But I'm still going to take them at Hampton, Coach. I got to take William and Mary, even though they've only won 3 or 4 games this year. Hampton hadn't won many more than that. So I'm going to go ahead and take William and Mary. Who you got, Coach?
And Hampton is in the Southern CAA. Man, I'm gonna take William and Mary as well.
Okay.
William and Mary at Hampton. And
our last game that we're gonna pick is Texas State.
Tennessee State.
Tennessee State. I'm sorry. Yeah. Tennessee State and Eastern Illinois. Who you got, Coach?
I gotta take, Coach. I'm gonna take Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, I'm with you, Coach. I just think, I had a lot of faith in Tennessee State early in the year, watching them pile up the wins. But as you pointed out, they weren't against very good teams. And so at the end of the day, I'm gonna take Eastern Illinois. Like
East Illinois is coming off of 4 games. Out of the last 5 games, they've only lost 1. And Tennessee State just the schedule wasn't strong. Oh yeah, they said Tennessee State played Lincoln of California as well.
Yeah, Coach. Yeah, Coach. Hey, man, this has been a great show, Coach. I mean, this is, we're in the episode 7 of this season's shows, man, and this is by far my favorite show of them all. Being able to interview Trei Oliver and talk football with him, and let him, give him a platform to share with us about what North Carolina Central University is all about. And Coach, I appreciate you reaching out and bringing them on the show.
Yeah, ain't no problem. I have a connect with all the coaches in the conference, and some of them will come on and some of them won't. It's just about your personality. I've always felt as a head coach that any time that I could promote my program, I'm gonna promote my program. I remember telling the SWAC office, they were having a hard time getting guys to play on Thursday. I said, man, let me tell you something. I play Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. You gonna put me on television? Let me get this.
What you say? You gonna be there, Coach?
We gonna be on TV. If somebody call me and want to interview, I'm interviewing. At the time, of course, TSU is my alma mater. I'll get on. I get on Mount Rushmore and say that's the best school there's ever. So I think just my philosophy about the media, and I know people say the media is not your friend, and you got to understand that, but definitely you can't do without it.
Hey guys. Hey, this has been a great show. And Coach and I, we're trying to build this platform, and we're gonna keep giving you great content. If you're watching this on off script, go ahead and go down in the description and click my channel and go ahead and subscribe if you could, because we're gonna continue to put out dope content. I want to thank Scotty for giving us opportunity to stream this on his channel as well, so that we could get the looks and the eyes and the feedback, man. And I appreciate his audience coming on here and really creating a lively conversation around the interview we had with Coach Trei Oliver. We got Perry. Perry was in the ask Coach about all the rings in his finger. But hey, Perry, I'll timestamp it after the after we put this, after this finishes. He explains each and every ring earlier in this live, man, shortly after Trei Oliver got off the interview, man. Trei, and if you missed Trei Oliver's interview, Perry, please go back at the beginning of this live and check it out, man. We had Trei Oliver on. He told us he committed to 15 minutes. And he actually gave us 30, man. So it was a tremendous interview. Oh, we got a caller on the line. Hold on, we got a caller. Caller, you're live. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Coach Pep.
Coach Pep, what's going on? You got a question for Coach?
Yeah.
Or a comment?
I got a question for Johnnie Cole.
This ain't the Coach Pep I know doing this.
You used to coach at Texas Southern, right?
Yes, sir.
And Arkansas Pine Bluff?
No, I didn't coach at Pine Bluff. I coached at Texas Southern, Alabama State, Tennessee State, Lane College.
Yeah, I got I got two questions I want to ask you.
Yes,
but I'm gonna have to put you in the ADC.
Okay.
And they got about 5 jobs opening right now.
Okay.
I'm adding that Southern job because Dooley ain't gonna win up there in Southern. I headed the Alabama A&M job, the South Carolina State job. What is you, if you the athletic director, if you looking for a celebrity coach, a defensive coordinator, be looking for in hiring head coach for your program?
Well, firstly, being an athletic director, and I've been in that role before, is to know something about my program. If you hear our story, I talk a lot about Texas Southern, Tennessee State, Alabama State. Not only because I talk about them, because I know the history, of the coaches that rolled through there, and I understand that there's not many winning football coaches. So the first thing I want to do is, what do we need here at College University A? Or did I just lose my winning coach to a better job, and we're loaded, and I need a guy that's enthusiastic and to come in and take over? Then that's what I'm looking for. I believe, if my team, offensively is good, then I might be looking for a good young defensive coordinator, to come in and add to the value that we have. If I got a struggling team, a perennial losing program, then I'm going to go find, number one, a winner. You know, if I got to go get him somewhere else, or I got to get a guy that's been in some programs at my level, firstly, that have won championships. Because there's only so many coaches that got the formula of winning. And whatever they have about themselves, it makes them win no matter where you go. There's only one Nick Saban. No matter where he goes, he wins. There's only one LC Cole. Wherever he goes, he wins. Broadway, wherever he goes, he wins. You know, Pete Richardson, wherever he goes. If you notice one thing about the SWAC, now we really don't have any real name coaches besides McNair that has been successful. And McNair has only been successful at Alcorn. And he came behind a successful coach. So he just walked into that and kept things going. But if you look at the conference, we have coaches bounce around, and none of them guys were winners. And then we have, except but Maynard, I'll say Maynard, and then we have but Maynard was at Hampton and stumbled. Then we have Dion coming to conference with no coaching, head coaching experience, but he was super. You know, he was phenomenal. Deion Sanders is phenomenal. He's of course, I don't have to say. And he was able to come in, surround himself with great coaches, had the money, and it's only one of him. And that's why it's so hard to repeat that. And that's why, look at Mac Brown. Mac Brown coached at North Carolina, won, left there, went to Texas, won, went into broadcasting, and then North Carolina say, man, we need to win. They brought him back. You know, Petrino got in all that mess at Arkansas, left, went to Louisville, won, went to Arkansas. I think he went in order. It wasn't necessarily in order, but he went to Western Kentucky, and Louisville say, oh, no. He goes back to Louisville because they say they want a winner. Winning coaches bounce around. Look at Kansas, the University of Kansas basketball program. Their coaches have gotten the highest NCAA lashings. But what they say, hey, buddy, we believe in winning up here. We ain't trying to start over. We're going to take whatever y'all say, but we're going to win. Because at the end of the day, winning is finances. It's money. It's enrollment. Football programs bring the money in. So what has happened in HBCUs, if you go back and look at all the winning coaches, they leaving on some type of scrutiny. Doug Williams, Grambling, they ousted him in game 2. You know, myself, you win a championship, you go on in 3 months. LC Cole, Alabama State, they go out and hire a lawyer $300,000 to investigate. I mean, I don't get that. And again, Rocky, you got your hand on your machine. Do college football important? Is it important in HBCUs? Is it important?
You know what I always say, Coach. If you want to be serious about football, you have to make it about winning. You have to hire a serious coach. And if you hire a coach that has historically been successful, then what you're saying to your alumni, your fans, and your institution is that we're serious about football. When you hire a real estate agent, your homeboy, your frat brother, or your friend, that's not saying that you're serious about football, in my opinion, right? When Alabama wanted to win, they end up hiring a national championship coach in order to come and jumpstart their program. They didn't waste no time by hiring someone who was just getting started in the business or who was just a novice at coaching. They hired a professional, a hired gun, someone who had a track record of winning and who knew how to get it done. And so that's what happens in HBCU football. It makes you question how many institutions are serious about football when you hire guys who are just getting started in business or hire guys who don't have a track record of success.
And you're hard on football.
Johnnie.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm taking for instance Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yes.
He was hired as a safety coach. Would you have hired somebody else from the D2 level that's bringing a head coach that's bringing players in with him? You with that route?
If I'm on 1AA level, I would have to really go down and see. That's what you got. You got to go out and find your coach. You got to go down and sit and talk and look at his resume and call around about who, what kind of guy he is. That guy at Arkansas Pine Bluff was coaching. I want to say, don't get me wrong. Put it this way: he was on Louisiana Monroe's coaching staff. University of Louisiana Monroe was the worst Division I-A program in the country.
Right.
And you bring him to run your perennial losing program. He gonna lose. And it ain't nothing personal against him.
Right.
He's gonna lose. When you got me out there, you got LC out there, you got Melvin Spears, you got James Woody, you got
Coach Frazier.
You got Coach Chennis Berry now getting things started at Benedict. I'm like Scotty on that. Chennis got to win some of them games in the playoffs. But he got a great program going. And we haven't done that. Man, the conference was always about great coaches. And now all of us are sitting on the couch. When we were supposed to take over from your Eddie Robinsons, your Marino Cassams, your W.C. Gordons, your Jake Gaithers. We were right up underneath them guys. But we've gotten away from that. Now the athletic directors are trying to get out in front of the coaches. Go ahead.
Would you be willing to take an offensive coordinator job?
It depends on the situation. My family comes first. And if it doesn't bother my family, and they can pay me well and make it right, I would have to sit down with my fiance, and we really would have to go through that, because now I'm in the age now it's about my family and instead of about what I want. I do want to coach again. Don't get me wrong. I do want to coach again.
So Coach, let me ask. I'm gonna ask you this here, Coach, and I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I'm a straight shooter. If a man were to pick up a call in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and say, "Hey, I'm turning over the offensive keys to you. I need you to come in and fix what I couldn't fix," would you consider making that move for that program?
I love the city of Baton Rouge. I lived there for 3 years, and man, that would be something special. I would really, 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 really consider that. I love the fan base. I love the university, the pride about the university, the things that they have about getting their alumni back to the university. So most definitely, that would be something that I would really, really look into. And on top of that, I would like to bring a guy with me or two, because running your system, it starts right there. It starts in that office. Do we believe in what we're running?
Yeah, Coach. Hey, you surprised me with that answer, Coach. You surprised me with that answer.
Yeah.
You know, because all of our conversations have been around programs and institutions being interested in you as a head man. We haven't really had much conversations about you being a OC, but in a situation where a guy goes in, and this is why it surprised me, Coach. You would be going in behind a guy who is on shaky ground as it is. Right. And so you coming in wouldn't provide you with much security as an OC. You would have to have supreme confidence that you can turn it around for you to take that job, Coach.
Well, ain't no question, Coach, because when I come in, I'm cleaning the house. We cleaning the floors, the baseboards, and everything, and we'll start with, and I'll build off of what some of the things he does, because a hitch in a corner route is a hitch in a corner route. It's about terminology. And I've done this before, and I've came in and if we want to use Coach Dooley as example, I'll come in and use his terminology. And this is why. It's better for me to learn it than 40 players learning something new. You know what I mean? And I know I'll get crossed up a little bit, but again, some of the pass plays and some of the things that you do, everybody does them. You know what I mean? It's just about the terminology. So, but that's why I was telling you that I would at least have to have one other guy or two other guys with me. And hopefully it would be either my O-line coach or my receiver or quarterback coach. Because we definitely would have to come in and build off of what
like I say, that's interesting, Coach, for you to take serious consideration like that, because again, that shows you that you have supreme confidence in your ability to go in with a guy who has said many times, in order for me to be the head man, I have to call the plays and so on and so forth. But and that's another thing. Would he have to bring you on as the play caller?
Well, most definitely. Well, if he wants me to put the offense in and he calls the plays on the weekend, that's his thing. But if he's gonna be putting me in charge, and hey, one of those when we score, he'll say, and then we throw an interception, he'll point down at me. Wow, Coach, we can't be in one of those situations. I'll tell you, Coach, a little story real quick. We was at Lane College my first year. I got there in June, hired some guys real quick. And I happened to come to a meeting with my offensive staff, my O-line coach, and my, I think he coached at wide receivers or something, running backs. And they in there watching USC games and film. And we were struggling offensively. And man, look, I went up one side and down the other. I said, first and foremost, we don't have USC football players here. Second of all, you guys have never worked at USC. And third of all, and mostly, I see why we ain't moving the football is because we don't believe in the room. The next year I go 7-3, and the year after I go 8-2, and average 30-some points a game. So I know about all that. Win the championship at Texas Southern. I like to throw. Our quarterback was, he would throw that ball away. We got in there and we molded and said we're gonna get the ball to the running back and we're gonna let our defense win games. And of course, we were 2010 champions. So it's some things that you got to adjust to and swallow your ego and make sure that you balance check the checkers to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. It answers go ahead. Sir, did you have something before you let go?
I got one more question to ask you. What was that linebacker name on that Texas Southern team you coached out there won the championship?
You mean the National Black College Defensive Player of the Year? His name was DeJuan Foger.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the real deal.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, he was the real deal.
He was the real deal.
he's traveling around with his brother because his brother is a professional fighter and he trains his brother.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's cool,
Appreciate
Coach.
you. Thank you. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach. That if we all right, looks like that's our last call, man. And this has been an amazing show, Coach. I can't wait. I'm fired up for next week. I don't know what you're gonna have in store for us next week, Coach. I snap the ball, you call the plays and run them, Coach. That's how we gonna do it, man. And I like I say, having Trei Oliver was an amazing opportunity and something I really enjoyed. And I know that's just one of the many people that you know in this business. And
Well, Coach, iron sharpens iron, and he's the 2022 Black College National Champion. That's what I try to surround myself with is people that know what winning looks like, what it feels like, and what it's about.
Man, well, that's awesome. My man Tony Webb asked me what's my favorite stick. My favorite stick is Liga Provider number 9, followed by Liga Provider H99, which is a very close second. I also want to thank the guys and gals who went over down in the description, click the link, and subscribe to the page, man. We definitely appreciate you guys for doing that. And again, we're building something here. We're trying to put together the best content we possibly can. Coach Cole is a wealth of knowledge, not only football wise, but from a SWAC and HBCU sports history. He's a wealth of knowledge, man. And y'all are, and I appreciate y'all tuning in and tapping into all of the knowledge and that he has as a coach and a member of the HBCU football and sports community. Coach, with no further ado, I'll let you take us out as we always do.
As we always do. Man, I know it's hard times out there in this world today. I put my head down to the Israel, the Palestinians, and that thing. I hope they get that thing going right. Killing innocent people on either side is just wrong. It's wrong and it's not right. And hopefully our president can move things in the right direction. So I want to make and hurt people over here in America. Jews, Palestinians, we don't have nothing to do with that over there. That's a whole nother atmosphere of people trying to get along. So I would hope that we wouldn't hurt each other in America. But by saying that, if you feel yourself having a bad time, if you feel yourself at the end of your rope, tie a knot, hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like you.